everybody, I got a tip. If you want me here, take a trip. It make you holler, it make you shout. Come along with me, we're tripping now. Now listen, girls, and listen, boys. These little things, they ain't no toys. They are for real. Know what I mean? They make you holler, they make you shout. Come on, baby, we'll trip on out.
What's going on, yo? And my freaking screen froze up already. Oh well. Okay, first things first. I don't know how it got started, but I did not have a heart attack. And y'all, I've had my text and Instagram and shit shut off for the last 2 or 3 days, so I apologize. It took me a while to. Had I known some of you thought that happened, I would have definitely got back to you sooner. I don't want to worry anybody for nothing. Yeah, I mean, something did happen, but it wasn't that, and I didn't tell anybody, so I don't know how shit got sent off or what. I don't know. I didn't realize Ed was live earlier until I turned YouTube on, and he was just turning the sign around when I stepped there. I would have went up there and did it on his. As far as that phone call that Sammy came up and questioned me about, no, I never did get that phone call. She said she would make sure I got it. I never have heard it. So I can't verify that it's real. God damn, what else was there? All right, so I've not seen this stuff with my own two eyes. I'm kind of going on what other people are telling me. Is that they called out OTR today publicly because he brought his kid on a catch. I mean, I agree that bringing your kid on a catch is not a good thing, but I don't really know how it went down, so I can't really comment on that part. But calling him out publicly and humiliating him like that in front of the whole community to the point where he says he's going to kill himself, and then you keep doing it. He drives an 18-wheeler, y'all. Something like that could set somebody. I mean, it's bad enough to keep going on him after he said he wanted to kill himself. But he's on the road with a big fucking truck. I mean, I suppose nobody thought about that. What if he decides to take himself out and not give a shit if he takes anybody with him? I don't know. You know, these motherfuckers, and I don't know who I was up on the panel, but they're always calling other people grimy. That was something grimy right there that could have been handled another way. Yes, PatCon, I have called out people. I have called out people live. But what you don't know is there's a lot of shit that I know about that I try to. I believe it or not, I do try to handle things behind the scenes most of the time. But if somebody said they were going to kill themselves, I wouldn't keep going with it. Been waiting for a bill live. Yeah, I just haven't felt like doing it the last several days. Haven't felt like doing anything. Yeah, I heard that Warbot's been talking to him, so I didn't. Uh, Damone was just on Ryan's laughing about it. That don't surprise me. He's a piece of shit too. He calls me a weirdo while he's up fucking showing his dick to everybody on Discord. You know, the stuff that I generally call people out over is so that other people are warned that they don't get the same thing from these people. I don't think there's any danger of somebody else's kid getting taken on a catch by OTR. He didn't laugh. I don't know. I didn't see it. I have not seen much of anything myself. I just kind of have to go on what other people tell me. Well, I don't know. I'm not even subbed to the Fireside channel, so. And I'll tell you what they've done to me a couple of times is they'll say, "We need you on our live," but like they don't tell me till like 2 minutes before it starts. And so usually by the time I see the text, it's already over with. I don't know if people just expect you to be able to uh, just go immediately every time. I don't know. So yeah, I really don't feel like doing this. I haven't felt like doing it for a few days. So just wanted to make sure y'all know I didn't have a heart attack. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Something did happen, but it wasn't that. Um, and no, I've not gotten that call that they said that they would make sure I got. I never have got it, so I don't even know if it really happened. I can tell you, I don't believe I said what they said I said. It's entirely possible I said it as a joke at some point, but I really don't think I ever did. Oh, speak of the devil. Oh yeah, I was no, I haven't had any Ambien yet, but goddamn it, I'm going to. Um, OTR, I heard that you shut your channel down already. Is that true? Who the fuck's blocking your accounts? Drama Queen 101. What's your usual account name? Has anybody been banned tonight? That's what sucks about StreamYard is you can't tell when somebody gets banned on your own damn panel. Oh, you mean your friends' accounts? Yeah, OTR, my advice is if you notice the catchers that run around in this group, uh, those catchers don't do as good as the other ones. I'm not even trying to be facetious. It's just truth. The catchers that hang around in this circle don't do very good. Like their channels don't do very good. So just do exposures, man. Just do catches and tell the rest of us to go to hell and shut the fuck up. What's up, Jenny T? How dare I go live when Seinfeld reruns are on? Yeah, I'm an asshole. Never said I wasn't. I hate to keep saying back in the day, but it seems like, I mean, used to be we'd be able to get a catcher 1,000 subs pretty quick. Now it's taken them, fuck, it's taken some of them longer than it took me, and I'm not even a catcher. We just don't have that. We don't have that close knit group anymore. Why would Bill go live and you're watching Rami catches? I went live because you're watching Rami catches. See, that's the thing. What I said months ago, and I'm gonna keep saying it till it's said to death, is when they start getting the people stomped out, they've been dragging for months. Once they get them stomped out, who are they going to go after next? They always got to have somebody to drag. So y'all might want to be careful because it could be you next. I don't know. I really don't want to be up here, y'all. If anybody wants to talk privately, I mean, actually talk, no bullshit fucking text. I hate texting. That's part of the reason I've had my text notifications off the last 3 or 4 days or however long it's been. How's Dad? He's doing better. He is doing much better. Still not out of the woods yet. You told everyone Damone was scum. I think it was kind of already that dude. I didn't get to see the actual catch, but somebody took some clips of it for me when he went with PHI. If they were depending on that guy to protect him, that's something else that gets me all is people that think they're protected because somebody has a gun. None of these motherfuckers are trained. It's actually more dangerous to have somebody like that with you. A gun and no brains, not a good combination. And one of the clips somebody sent me, he's like, "Oh, I need to sit down." That dude, that motherfucker would have fainted if something would have happened. I'm not even trying to be an asshole. I'm just telling you how it is. You can hear the pussy in its voice. Yeah. I just drained Ryan's viewers. Well, like I'm not subscribed to Fireside, so I don't even know when he's live, and it probably wouldn't have mattered. I probably wouldn't have went live anyway because fuck him. That's why. Decapitated gatekeeper. Hello. All right, yo. I really just don't feel like doing this. Unless somebody has something they want to say, I'm gonna hang this up in a couple of minutes. Can we do a virtual hot rail? Yeah, if you can teach me, yeah, we can do that. I just don't know how. How long have I been live for? A few minutes. Or do you mean altogether? I've been alive for a very long time, but I've only been live for oh no, I guess it's 19 minutes exactly. What's up, Anthony? So yeah, harassing a guy to the point of suicide, especially, I mean, that's never cool. And I am especially sensitive to um, suicidal people because I've lost too many that way. And I really do feel like I have a lot of blood on my hands. I don't, except for one, like I don't think that them doing it was my fault, but I feel like I could have done more to stop it. You know, but one of them, I guess you could blame me for that, but um, it's just that there were so many that I could have done more to stop, and I didn't. So I am a little bit overly sensitive to that, but um, harassing a guy to the point where he says he wants to kill himself, and then you keep doing it, especially when he's behind the wheel of um, a large vehicle. Who's to say that in that split second he wouldn't throw the wheel over in oncoming traffic and take out some other people too? You know. Can y'all? Hold on, man. Where are we at? Well, hell yeah, Drama Queen. Bring that. You won't be able to get an RV to work down the roads that I'm on, but yeah, we can figure something out. Hopefully, you are an actual female and not a man going by Queen. All right, man, Dingo. Uh, yeah, OTR, you can call me later. Can we unban your homeboy Charlie? It depends on why Charlie Brown got banned to begin with, because I don't know. How are the kitties? The kitties are doing just fine. They are they are almost big enough to stay on the rotisserie without falling off. You're gonna ball gag. Oh no, I do the ball gagging. I don't wear the ball gags. I do the gagging. If they were fraudulent, would they have not been released? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Alcohólicos Anónimos. Oh, guys, I haven't been like really fucked up in I guess going on 3 weeks now, but I think I'm going to probably overindulge here in a little bit. All right, y'all. I have a question. Has anybody here ever had a conversation with Danielle? Because I think she's trying to corrupt me. She's making me have bad thoughts. And when I say bad, I mean naughty. You're refreshing your tail. All right. Hey, I'll wait on a few minutes. All right, JT, don't hurt yourself. Yes, corrupt me. I'm a very innocent, impressionable person. No, Danielle, no, I believe you're real. You're obviously real. I don't think you're AI or something like that. It's just that you're you're too pretty to want to talk to me. See why Locke gets jealous of Bill's female attention. Well, I mean, it is what it is. That's the thing. These people are all talking about how bad it is that um, people attack catchers over stupid shit, and then we have catchers attacking. It just fucking yeah. Hang on, I'm trying to add you. All right, man. I think we're live.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How you doing?
You're alive, despite the rumors.
In spite of the rumors, yes.
Yeah, right. I think they were confusing you with Toe, who had some kind of medical emergency this week, for whatever reason. But you're clearly two different people.
Yeah, I got all 8 of the toes I was born with.
Yeah, there you go. So somebody just recently sent me this stream that happened earlier today with PHI and OTR, and whew, man, I'll tell you, I've seen some ugly things in this community, but never quite seen anything like that. You know, like a hit job like that, right? Um,
Hmm.
and so, yeah, I don't really know OTR all that well. I don't know him at all. Never met him. Never talked to him. Been on a panel once or twice. Sounds like there were some questionable decisions that he made. Sure, you know, if it's half true, yeah, he could have made better decisions. It's not a good thing to involve your kids in this kind of stuff. If that is indeed what happened, I think everybody agrees on that. But
Yeah,
this thing just came out of the fucking blue, and I mean the way that they attacked him and sent him over the top. And I don't know if OTR is in the comments, but I will just say, man, like you know, when these things are happening, you just gotta like turn the shit off, give yourself a 24-hour, 48-hour internet break. Because it's design, people are designing these things to do exactly what they're intending to do, and that's to like hurt people, right, emotionally. And in
right.
this case, it actually almost, I mean, it sounded like it almost went into the realm of like real world, like somebody physically hurting themselves, right? And I'm glad that OTR is still here and did not decide to, you know, do anything extreme like that, because it's it's not a good outcome either, you know. But shame on those people that launched this attack on him, and the way they did it, the way it
Right.
was orchestrated, and the mods that allowed it to happen, the people that were involved. You all know who you are. um, to go after this guy like that with such like vitriol, right? I mean, I've seen some dirty things in this community, but nothing quite that dirty, Bill. I will tell you, man. So
That's
it's
that.
fucked up, dude. It's really fucked up, and everybody and anybody and everybody that was involved should be fucking ashamed of themselves. And you know what? They're probably not, because they have zero emotional intelligence. You know.
You know, everything that you just said is pretty much, I mean, not word for word, but pretty much exactly what everybody else that told me about it said. And then I guess Wolf was up there too, and I thought those two were friends. And I don't know, man. You can't. It just like you can't. You don't really have any friends in this community. Nobody does.
No, you don't. And people are constantly lying about shit, you know. And I think the only person to kind of come out of this today, kind of more or less unscathed, is, are you ready?
Go for it.
Jeff. Because Jeff actually like got pulled into the situation, didn't know what was going on, and you know, was on the panel, and then he kind of dipped out and he was talking to OTR, you know, making sure he was okay. You could sense that there was something in Jeff's voice where he was the only person involved in this thing that was like legitimately concerned about this man's well-being, right? So
Hmm.
so shout out Jeff, if you're watching, or if you're not, you'll hear about this later. But I mean, Jeff was the only one that actually like, you know, showed up as a regular decent human being um in this
Well,
situation. And so
he must have, because this is the first I've heard about him being on that panel. So
yeah. Yeah. So you know, nobody owes anybody anything here. um you know, OTR doesn't owe anything to anybody. You know, uh, you don't owe anything to anybody really. And so, um, you know, I hope OTR figures out how to move forward. But you know, don't let these people take you for a ride like that, man. That's all it is. It's a ride. It's orchestrated to create hate and spite and malice and you know, harm for no reason, for a bunch of random motherfuckers on the internet. You know, that don't mean anything and shouldn't mean anything to you in your real life. You know, so Yeah, take a step
Well,
back,
that,
take
that's
some time away, man,
that's
and
the
do your thing.
that's the thing is though is they were coming after his real life, and I agree that, and I don't know all the circumstances around it, but I agree that in general, taking a child on a catch is not the best move.
Yeah,
But
of
I don't know.
course.
Were they right there next to him? Were they 50 yards? Was the kid 50 yards away in a vehicle? I don't know the details, but um,
I don't even know.
something
I
like
mean,
this didn't need to be handled out in public like that, just to burn the guy and
yeah,
then
of
to push him
course.
to the point where he says he wants to off himself and then keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then people, they double down and we know who they are. They just continue to push it and push him over the edge. They're like, if he's going to do it, he's going to do it. I'm like, really? Even people like Toe. I'm just like, fucking disgusting, man. But it's par for the course for this community. It's a bunch of fucking filthy slime. And just, I think if you're in this community and if you choose to get involved, always approach relationships with the absolute fucking lowest expectations of humanity. Assume these people are going to slice you, they are going to slander you, they are going to dox you, they are going to, harm you. So never bend over for the soap because they will stick it in. And that goes for everybody. So just keep yourself safe like that, And yeah, it was quite nasty today. I'm glad everything kind of worked out. And OTR, you just got to move on, man, and get out of this garbage. And sure, two things can be true, right? He made a mistake if his kid was involved. For sure, we can all agree upon that. But it absolutely did not warrant what happened today. For sure, It's not how people should handle things in a regular community. But this is not a regular community, right?
No, and I'm gonna repeat this until people just tell me to shut the fuck up about it. I've been saying for a
Mhm.
while now that once they get all the people that they're dragged out of the way, they have to keep doing it because some of them their whole channels are based on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so who are they going to go after next? You know what I mean?
Right.
I said before that they would turn on each other, and they've already started. And I'm not talking about OTR because he's not really a part of the dragging system.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's and I think that they will start to go back in on Jeff once they drag everybody else that they're dragging now. Once they get them all dragged out of the way.
Well, of course, and they're doing it right now. Like this account, and I hate to call them out, but Alcoholics Anonymous, is regurgitating some lie that I told people that Jeff molests his own kids. So, Alcoholics Anonymous, you're stating that I said that Jeff molests his own kids. You have no proof of that. That never happened. I've cleared that up with Jeff. So, Alcoholics Anonymous, you can go and fuck your face, dude. Whoever you are, fairly certain we know who you are. But your shit's tired, bro. Just get out of here. You are part of the problem.
Ah, I had never heard that you said that, but that doesn't really sound like something you would say.
No, of course I would never say that. Jesus Christ. Come on. No.
And when it comes to picking up the soap, dude, I've seen you throw the soap down so that you'd have to pick it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like more like gameplay, kind of like we're having fun, everything's cool. This is different, right? But I agree. It's still,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyhow, I hope OTR is good. Just wanted to come up and say that. And, shame on the people that participated in that fucking. Yeah. And here's the other thing, Bill. I'll tell you this, right? Everybody was so angry with Ed because, like, Ed didn't tell people the moment that he knew that there was some potential, like, CP charges, right? And then Ed told some
Hmm.
people, and then those people didn't tell anybody the moment that they knew, right? People waited. Same thing here. People knew about this. Wolfpack knew, Sammy knew, a bunch of people knew, about this situation with OTR taking his kid on catches, which I do not condone, and nobody should. It was a mistake. But why did they wait so long? Why didn't they bring it to light in the moment? Right? Don't they have some kind of like duty or service to like bring these things forward and not hide them as a secret to later bring them forward when they're ready to like weaponize it against somebody? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I don't know when it happened or um, and something like this. Like yes, I called a bunch of people out. The people I call out though, I I do it um, mostly because so that other people can be warned. You know what this person's doing or what this person's about, so it doesn't happen to them. Um, but calling somebody out over this publicly just uh, I think it's like anything they can do to either deflect attention or just to keep dragging going because it's all they have. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like an attempt to deflect away from, you know, something else. Who knows what that was, but it seemed to come out of nowhere. It could have been dealt with behind the scenes and like, I'm like just I mean, it's going to be gone tomorrow, but yeah, anyhow, it's just yeah, I thought we were stronger together, right? What happened to that campaign? Are they gonna have to edit? Are they gonna have to edit OTR out of the little fucking gay video they did? He's in there, right? They did like a little music
I
video, right?
yeah, I really don't think anybody actually believed that
they're
the
gonna have
stronger
to
together thing
they're gonna have
was
to keep
gonna happen.
making edits to that video because they're gonna keep fucking outing people. Um, yeah, no, the stronger together thing is a bunch of bullshit. Anyhow, my advice to OTR is like step away. Once you turn it on, buddy, it goes away. Believe me. Just focus on your health, your mental health. Stay off the internet, and things will get better. But yeah, I mean it's easier said than done. But I mean it's true. Once you turn it off, it goes away. Yeah. What do we got going on here? What do we got going on in the chat? Let's see. Been neglecting the chat. This is interesting. The only time I can see PatCon, because PatCon has blocked me on every single platform like a bitch, is when I'm on like StreamYard. That's the only time I can see PatCon stuff. I have no idea why PatCon blocked me. Um, it's a little weird, but it is what it is.
Well, it's probably like that girl you went to kindergarten with that had a crush on you that would always scratch you and pull your hair and shit. Probably the same thing.
Exactly. Some kind of, yeah, PatCon's having a hard time expressing their energy, their attraction towards me. So it comes out in the form of, trolling, right?
Yeah, I didn't. Kind of forgot about that. Did they call out Tommy for all the catches he's brought his kids on and having his kids print off chat logs with dick pics in them and stuff? Did they call him out with the same energy?
I don't know. I don't know, but I mean that's definitely a thing. I mean it happened, right? Um, yeah, and nobody ran him off the island, right? Um, but like Tommy's learned, right? He's doesn't involve his kids anymore. He's moved on to more appropriate ways of doing the work. So you made mistakes, you move on, right? So why is OTR not afforded the same grace of like making mistakes, right? I just don't get it, and I don't even know for sure. Like it's still the jury is still out on what actually even happened, right? Somebody came up and they said a bunch of stuff. I don't even think OTR has actually provided his side of the story. But you know how this place works. People spew out garbage. You throw spaghetti on the wall, and that's whatever sticks. You know, but
Yeah.
that's fine. There's no reason to try and
No.
justify it.
Alcoholiosis, anonymous sclerosis, whatever your name is. You're right. But did the same people call him out for the same thing that they called OTR out for? Yeah, you're 100% right. Tommy's been called out for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, as he should have.
But
He still
what
is
I
to this
meant
day.
was, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, how many freaking YouTube channels are there that do nothing but call out Tommy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, even to this day, right? But they're not. I mean, are they calling him out, or are they just like stating? I mean, I think the one that's the most. I mean, Mastercard does good work, but the Colorado Pathological Patrol website that's run by uh, someone who will go nameless, Blue. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, it's they poke fun, they kind of create a little narrative and do little funny video clips, but essentially what they're doing now is they're showing that all of these catches that Tommy says he's doing, and he's getting charges on people, in fact, with documentation, just showing that like these cases are getting closed because there's no follow through. Right? That's not calling somebody out. That's just like that's like lifting up transparency. That's bringing sunshine into the darkness, right? That's called accountability, in my opinion.
What does accountability mean?
Accountability means like you say one thing, you can say whatever you want to say, but in the end of the day, the truth matters. And the truth in this case is demonstrated by documents, by police records, detective records, records from Weld County that say that they are closing cases because CPP did not follow up with evidence, right?
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
there was a whole ass police meeting with him about that, and that seems to get overlooked.
yeah. I mean, and there's a lot more too. So I mean that whoever's running that website, Blue, there's a lot of good stuff on there. Yes, check it out. I mean, it's again they poke fun, but it's really about accountability. If people are interested, right, in like digging and getting towards the truth, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, I actually forgot about Captain.
what
Remember,
happened
he
to
had
Cap?
his
Yeah, what happened to Captain?
Captain brought his little one. I think in a stroller, if I remember right. Kid, it was cold, and the kid had no socks on.
Oh my God,
I forgot about that too.
that's not
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I gotta admit, Blue does to like, and I think it's weird, to be quite honest, to pay that close of attention to what somebody else is doing for this long. I do think it's weird, but she has documented and kept track of a lot of stuff. Now, I could fucking go off all night about why I don't work with Blue anymore, but that's kind of beside the point at
Sure.
this time.
Yeah, you got to think of the big picture, right?
But even when I was working with her, I still thought it was weird. Like, we would have hours long conversations, and I got so sick of fucking hearing about Tommy all the time. Sometimes I just wouldn't answer my phone. Um, it I mean, just the glee she gets out of, and she's not really making him look bad. She really is just pointing out what happened. But she just the amount of glee she got overdoing it, it was just weird to me.
Yeah, what happened to Captain?
I don't know.
He's not around anymore. Yeah, he's part of the fam. He's gone.
It's called being scorned. Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. And then she tried to say, and I fucking like, I am not one to go back and search. I fucking hate going back and searching through old videos or text messages, and I rarely ever do it. Even if I know something's there, I don't even fucking look for it most of the time. But I did go back and find some stuff because Blue was trying to say that I knew about the CP raid. I knew that there was a raid. I just assumed it was for drugs because that's what he went to jail for.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was for that. I found out about that when everybody else did. I mean, if you're talking to your buddy and your buddy's like, "Yeah, I got busted because blah blah blah," tells the story. I had a little meth in my pocket and went to jail. I mean, if your buddy told you that, would your first thought to be like, "Hey, it wasn't a CP raid, was it?" You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I just assumed it was for drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could know about a raid, but doesn't mean you know all the ins and outs of it, right?
Right. And yes, I have met OTR in person not that long ago. He 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 dressed like a man, and I was kind of disappointed about that. But
What?
he OTR, he dresses like a man. I just for some reason thought he'd be in a dress, but he wasn't.
All right.
He was on the road, so we didn't get to spend a real long time together. I just took over his channel, and yeah, it wasn't very long, but I did get to meet him in the flesh.
Lurky McClurkson. Isn't that Cooley's last name? What's Cooley's last name? Yeah. Bill, would you bottom OTR? Jesus, now we're getting back to it. There you go.
Nope, I don't bottom. I'm always the top.
Oh, the levity.
Yep, I am always the top. Unless it's reverse cowgirl, then I'll be the bottom.
I'm liking this Drama Queen 101, which is good. It's more like a 201 level. Yeah, this is a trip. Like looking at PatCon comments, regardless of what they're saying, is it's the only time I get to see them.
Oh man, I missed whatever was PatCon said.
It's just more of the same. It's like when you have like a sore or an abscess or something's going, you have some kind of like ailment, right? And then you put medicine on it and it fixes it, peroxide or alcohol, whatever, and it cleans up the infection and it goes away. And then you don't have to deal with it anymore because you're healed, right? But then you have to go back in and like look at it again and be like, oh, I'm glad I don't have that anymore. It's like a fucking
annoying, like when somebody puts sand in your motion lotion.
Exactly. There you go. I probably couldn't handle PatCon. I imagine PatCon to be a very like heavy set, portly, round, greasy, smelly man. And yeah, that's 2 tons of fun, too much for me. So you're right.
I can tell that PatCon has read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think that's what it's called. I had to read it one of the classes I took, but that's actually a real book. Yeah, I can tell that PatCon is if not a full-fledged salesman, has at least taken some of the same classes I have. I can tell by the way he talks sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Are
Tell
you
you
out in the
what,
field?
one
Are you out in the field? I hear crickets.
yeah, more or less. I'm actually at my new place, and um, I don't smoke in there, so I'm out
Hmm.
sitting in the little shed type thing. I don't even know what the hell you call this.
A shelter.
Yeah,
Speaking
barely.
of smoking, I'm gonna light something up here. How's your father, Bill?
He's doing better.
All right, good. Good. Bill's in the
He's
cornfield doing anal. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, is there someplace you would rather I do anal? Because I can do it anywhere. When I was skydiving, I asked the guy if we could do it naked, and he's like, "Yeah, you just don't want to do it while the cord's up." Oh yeah,
Right.
I like this
Exactly.
guy.
Yeah, have a rough landing or not.
Hmm. I don't know. OTR, if you're still here, did you get a chance to uh, speak your side, or did they? I don't know what happened. I don't know how it ended, but um, if you want to come up and say something about it, you're more than welcome. If not, I completely understand.
Yeah, it's no need for him to relive the shit. He already went through it, but it's up to
Yeah.
it's up to him.
Well, I just didn't know. Okay, he said he got pissed off and called them cunts and left. Okay.
Well,
I know sometimes they'll call somebody out and then uh like either not let them up to give their side or boot them because they don't, like if they start losing the argument, they'll boot people or whatever. That's happened to me a few times.
or you start dragging somebody. You're dragging them for like 30 minutes, and you're like, ah, where are they at? And by the time they come in, it's like it's a full drag fest. That's not how you start a conversation with somebody, right? If you want to
Right.
start a conversation, you let them know that you would like to have a conversation with them privately or even public on a panel, but give them notice, right? Let them know what it's going to be about, and more or less have it contained. But it's not what happened today. Today was just like it was a fucking setup. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me before too. Like they'll wait till 2 minutes before they go live, or wait till they're already live, and then say we need you on panel. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't always fucking do it at their whim. If you want me on your panel, get a hold of me, the day before or a few hours before.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll criticize you for not being there. It's like, well, what the fuck? I didn't even see your text message until after it was over. And then I get criticized because um, when somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I want a panel for whatever reason," what I'll do is I'll bring just them and me up at first because when you've got 5 people up there and they're all saying different shit, then nobody can
Right.
understand it, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, you've done that before.
Um,
You know how to
I've
do it.
Yeah, I've done that a lot of times, and when they get everything out, then I'll let people up, and if they choose to leave, then they can leave. Um, but yeah, it's pretty pointless when you have 5 or 6 people up there and they're all screaming and yelling, and you can't understand what any of them are saying.
Yeah, no,
And then it
today
just
today was definitely a setup. Yeah, and I will tell you, I'll say it again. the only human on that panel or in that chat that had any kind of like any basic level of like humanity and or empathy was Jeff. I think Jeff knows OTR. Jeff didn't he didn't like excuse any of the behavior or the bringing kids on to a couch. But Jeff was like, Jeff, something kicked in, with Jeff, and like he was like, this isn't right. Maybe it's because he knows OTR or whatever. He just got a feeling like he's like, I need to check in on this guy, and he did. He called him. He pulled out of the stream and he called him a couple times to make sure he was okay. See if he wanted to come back up. He didn't want to come back up. So through thick and thin, and through many of the disagreements I've had with Jeff, and never said anything about his kids like these people are saying. Kudos to Jeff, right, today for what he did. I mean, it takes one person, then it takes two people to have a little bit of dignity, a little bit of humanity, right? To kind of put water on a bad situation, right? And I mean that
I mean,
100%.
gotta give credit where credit is due. So this happened like a long time ago, and they waited this long to call it out. Yeah.
Well, that's part
I
of
mean,
that. I mean, that's like it didn't really matter until they needed it to matter. And for
right.
some reason, the day after Sam goes live and is talking about, the calls and how they were illegally obtained, may have put the fear of God in some people that decided the next day they wanted to like do some fucking deflection mission, right? Right. And so, how can we deflect? Who can we throw under the fucking bus today? Let's throw OTR under the bus, right? Nice try.
Well, that's the thing. They came up and jumped me about something somebody else said on one of those calls that I didn't even fucking say, and like it was all news to me. And they said they would make sure that I got that call. I haven't gotten it. I haven't gotten shit. So I don't even know if it was really said. They said that if you missed it, they said that Blondie said that I said Gabby had a wrench on my channel because she sent me nudes, and Blondie didn't have a wrench because she didn't send me nudes. But Blondie has a wrench, and Gabby has never sent me nudes.
Oh, that whole thing was bizarre, man.
I thought so too.
Yeah, that was also manufactured.
That's how I feel about it. They said they'd get me the call, and they never have.
Yeah, because from the outside, if you're watching it from the outside, and if you have half a brain, you could say like, "This doesn't smell right," and if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, Yeah. But a lot of people will buy this shit, the trolls love it. It's like fodder for the trolls, and you go and you give little peanuts to the birds in the park. That's what this is, for the trolls. They love it. They bite it up. So.
Yeah, I made a lot of jokes. I really don't think I ever made that joke about like Gabby. That is the kind of joke I would make, so I can't really say that I didn't say it because I say a lot of shit that I don't remember. But I really don't think I said that. And if I did, it was a fucking joke and never meant to be serious. And people know my sense of humor. Whether you like it or you don't like it, people know how I talk. You know what I mean?
For some reason, Dominique is following me around on panels. She's I wouldn't say stalking, but she keeps popping up, and it's making me feel uncomfortable. I want to put that out there.
She keeps making me send her unsolicited dick pics.
I didn't go that far, man. Come on. Yeah. She keeps saying I'm a nerd, and I'm
Well, I
definitely
mean,
I'm definitely nerdy. I get that.
like I really have never uh, given somebody a wrench just based on their nudes. Not saying that I wouldn't, because if you send me your boobies, you will get a wrench. But I have never. Oh shoot! I think I just accidentally banned. If I just accidentally banned somebody, would one of the mods please undo it? Um,
Oh,
damn it! I
California
started thinking about boobs and I got all flustered.
always complaining. California libs. There you go, Dominique. That's fucking something moving behind me. Jesus. All right.
All right, are we back?
Yeah. Here. What about Anthony
All right,
Cruz?
cool.
What's up with Anthony Cruz?
I was just saying I've never actually traded wrenches for boobs except for with Anthony Cruz and anybody else that says I did.
There you go. Has Anthony Cruz ever been on a panel?
Not that I know of. We ought to break that panel, Cherry, though.
Interesting. Yeah.
Danielle, like as soon as I have a phone conversation with you, I will send you all the dick pics you want. See, here's my problem with Danielle. Um, like obviously she's real. Like I don't think she's AI or something. Um, but like she's well, I don't know, because like Dominique is too hot to be talking to me too, and I know she's real. Um,
I think she's real. I think the one that I'm having a hard time believing is real is Andrea D. And you said you've talked to Andrea D.
yes, I know she's real. I've spoken to her. I've heard her
All
voice.
right,
We've had it.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
thought
gonna,
she was fake too, man.
I'm not convinced. I am not convinced.
Well, I mean, I don't blame you because I for the longest time I didn't think she was real either. But there's been some things happen, and I know she is. But I didn't believe it either because like I thought somebody had like researched my brain and like she would talk about all the things that I like that I've some of it I've never talked about on a panel before. Just checking all them boxes going down the line. So yeah, I thought she was fake for a while too, but she's not.
Well, there it is.
I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna explain this once and only once. First
You have
off,
the floor.
my kid was far away from the predator, nowhere near him. One time he was in the truck, the other time he was in my friend's apartment, where the catch was happening across the parking lot. So he was in immediate danger at all. He was safe and secure. Nothing was gonna happen. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, that answers one of the questions I had.
Can I ask you one more thing, OTR? Just in all fairness, I want to
Yes.
make sure we can cut through some of the stuff that was said. I mean, I'm not going to ask you the crazy shit that people were saying, but um, so it sounds like it was like two catches that are in question, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then people were saying that even I think Toe's wife was saying that let your kid read the chat logs
No,
and
not at all.
yeah, I mean, so I mean that and I mean that's people were saying that. So I'm just putting it out there that you like allowed your kid and you like got feedback from your kid on how to conduct the interviews or something after you let your kid read the chat logs. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So,
What I
but
mean, why would they lie about that? I'm not going to ask you. I'm not asking you, OTR. I'm just saying
I
like that's
couldn't,
the
I
bigger
couldn't, I
question,
couldn't
right?
tell you.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Yeah, that
you know,
was one. That was a question that I had. Was he even in the vicinity? Because there's a big difference if like if you pull up and meet the guy and you're standing 2 parking spots away, or if he was like on the other side of the parking lot altogether, or there is a difference there.
yeah, he was secured.
Okay.
so let me ask you this. So why do you think so it sounds like people knew about this, right? A lot of people knew that this had happened. They gave you feedback or whatever and you whatever. It sounds like it continued to happen. Why do you think it popped off today?
No idea.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm
But
saying.
I've been dealing with enough, between fucking JD, shit going on in my personal life,
Yeah.
and the shit going on in my personal life,
You don't have to get into it, man. Don't get into
yeah,
it. Yeah, but I'm just saying like take us this community is fucking toxic as fuck, dude. These people are gonna
it really is.
they're gonna try and eat you up and tear you down and destroy you. We are actually indeed authentically stronger together, but that whole shit is a farce. So don't
Yeah.
trust no one going forward. Take a step back, handle your shit, man. You'll heal. Come back or don't come back. But just you got to stay out of it, man, because it's not good for your mental health. It's just a bunch of fucking
Right.
people that are using you for their own like personal
Only,
interests and
only
they'll
reason I even popped on YouTube is because Bill went live.
yeah, yeah. So
But friggin', it just really sucks that they fucking choose to do this shit. You know, but it is what it is.
Well,
And, unfortunately, friggin' people don't like talking in private. So,
look, they will never stop dragging people because it's all most of them have.
right.
And when they start getting people out of the way that they've been dragging for months, who are they going to go to next? And this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Whether it be one of the three of us, which, they've probably done it. I don't know about FCC, but I know me and you, they fucking drag right through the fucking mud. You know,
sure, I'll get dragged for this for sure. But I mean, I don't care. It's about. I mean, I can see this stuff from when somebody sent this to me earlier today or this afternoon. I was like, this doesn't seem right. Like, especially since like people knew about it going back months, right? And so why was today the magical day, right? And so that just tells me that there's some ulterior motive, and you were the closest body that they were able to throw under the bus to you know deflect from some other situation. And that's what they'll
they,
do to you, man. Don't trust these people, dude. Don't trust anybody. Don't even trust Bill. I'll tell you that right now. You
Fuck
know,
no, don't trust me.
he's like the worst. Yeah. But
It's like drone racer. No, stop twisting shit, man. And I'm getting sick of you saying that I said shit that I never said.
I'm starting to think Drone
This
Racer
right
is like
here,
Ryan. He's like Ryan,
he
right?
he thinks like Ryan does. That's the problem.
Does Drone Racer wear a helmet?
Not as often as he should.
Probably, yeah. Some fucking knee pads.
but I'm hopping down, and
All right, man. Take care of yourself, man. Step away from this shit, dude. Don't listen to it. You know, take care of just work, take care of your family, take care of your health, and just believe me, man. Step away from it. You'll feel better in a couple days.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna, friggin'. I think I'm gonna work a little bit more on my other channel, over the next couple of years, and
Yeah, I'm
fucking.
just saying in the next couple days, man. Just like don't get involved. Just walk away from it. Take a break, man. It'll help you out.
Yeah, I'm looking at getting away from the predator catching community probably for the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like you do actually have some people that you've connected with here that are, it's, Jeff was in contact with you. It sounds like you're in contact with some other people,
Like Jeff has become one of my best friends.
Yeah, so that's good, man. That's good. And but other than a few people that you can trust, just be very cautious, man, because these people are like they're snakes, man.
Jeff is one of the few I can actually fucking trust.
Yep. There you go.
So.
All right, man.
Hey, Ghost Malone. Speaking of people that, like, I don't know what Ghost Malone looks like, but I'm sure she's hot. And was horribly treated by certain people because they thought that she was somebody else.
How do you know that Ghost Malone is not really Post Malone?
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the hands. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, all right, Bill. When you get off of here, give me a call.
All right, man.
FCC, have a good night. Everyone, have a good night.
Yeah, man. Take care, OTR.
All right, bye.
There you go. That's how it's done.
Well, I hope he's feeling better than he was earlier. Just about has to be, from what I heard.
Yeah, it was. There was some dicey moments earlier, man. For sure, like red alert shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? FCC has felt the wrath. Ask him about what happened when he went against Colfax. I went against Colfax? I always go against Colfax. What happened? Ghost Malone. I actually just went to a Post Malone concert. Yeah, I'm sure it was a great concert. He puts on a good show.
Ghost Malone, you don't even want to know what's been going on here. It's been progressively getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
I've been sick of it for a long time. I'm just sick of people lying about me and then saying I'm the one lying, which when I say something outlandish, it's usually meant to be sarcastic or as a joke or whatever. But when it comes to like the actual facts and stuff, I don't usually lie about that kind of thing.
They were saying you had a heart attack a couple days ago, man.
Yeah, I don't really know how that got. I mean, something did happen, but it wasn't a heart attack, and I've told nobody around here, so.
Sure.
I mean, that could have been just, an innocent. Somebody heard the wrong thing and started spreading it or asking about it or whatever. I really don't know how it got started, but.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's getting late for my time. I'm gonna go back in the hot tub one more time and then call it a night. I just wanted to come up and address that situation. I'm glad that, and I don't normally do this. I don't normally like get involved in like particular situations, but what I saw today around this situation with OTR, I just felt like was not cool, unfair, over the top. Glad OTR came up to clear some stuff up. And again, people that were involved in this shit, man, fucking shame on you. You're gonna have to live with yourself and all the things that you said and did to this guy, regardless of what he did. If you made a mistake,
they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. But I'm telling you, man, karma cares. Karma is a bitch. Karma will fuck with you in ways where, like, if you don't think you care, karma will make sure that you care. So, just it's just not okay. So I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's okay, and didn't do anything over the top. But yeah, anyways, good chatting, Bill. I accidentally
All right,
called.
man. Thanks.
I accidentally called Ed Bill earlier, and he got really upset at me. So yeah.
Well, I tell you what, that's something else that gets me in trouble. People say, "Oh, you said this and that." When evidently people think, and this does happen a lot, so it's probably an honest mistake. But um, people think that Ed and I sounded alike. So sometimes, and it goes both ways. I get blamed for saying shit that he said. He gets blamed for saying shit that I said. I've had people hit me up on the Dramagram account thinking that I'm Ed. Yeah, so we get confused for each other a lot. It goes
Yeah,
both ways.
people can't fucking figure out that you might be two different people. That's on them, not on
Mm.
you or Ed. But anyhow, good night, man.
Yeah, it's everybody is me with a voice changer. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, peace.
Oh, alrighty then. Are there any other travesties I need to address? I have no clue what's been going on the last 3 or 4 days, except for this stuff, because um, I've had my text notifications off and my Instagram notifications off. The only way to get hold of me right away is to actually call, and even then, I might not answer. You better be careful, Danielle, because people will accuse you of being one of my fake girlfriends. You'll be the next one that they say is me, pretending to be my own girl. FCC is a poor man's telly. Oh man, that's funny. How many pornos have I shot in my new spot? None yet. I have to find a willing victim. I mean partner. Partner. Yeah, I haven't had a girl here yet. I am taking applications though. Cat most definitely got her. Andrea comes to this channel. Hey, I saw her first. Can we all agree that the only testosterone FCC has is in his profile pic? I'll give that a hard second. Danielle, if you're volunteering, I can sign you right up. Hey, what's up, Moments Live? Lisa, I saw you slip in here earlier. I didn't say hello because I didn't want to interrupt. But glad to see you. In a world full of hate, be kind. Yeah, it's real tough sometimes. I have a hard time being nice to people when the world's not full of hate. If you come back in here with a wrench, we all know what. Yeah, yeah, that'll do it. Shooting pornos with me will also get you a wrench. Imagine Meow giving himself a facial. I would bet that that's probably happened more than once. That's probably the real reason why he shaved his beard. Your daughter was strangled and suffocated. Oh shit. damn, JFK. I hope she's all right, and I hope the motherfucker got shot. I'm serious too. I hope the motherfucker got shot. How many takes will it take to get a wrench in here? A phone call will probably do it, Danielle, because I'm still not 100% convinced. He's in jail. Good. Man, that's the thing, though. I mean, the physical wounds eventually heal, but mental stuff's a different story. What's up, Edward? I was gonna do this. I didn't realize you were live. You were hanging it up right as I came in. I don't know if you saw me leave a mess or talk in your chat or not, but so I just said, "Fuck it, I'll do it here." What's up, Susan? How you doing? Now, Susan, oh man, I actually didn't believe. Look, they are constantly trying to set me up. Like my Instagram gets bombarded with all these fake. They're just trying to catch me saying something to a woman that's inappropriate that she didn't start, or they're always trying to catch me in something. They're trying to trick me into sending dick pics, but I never actually do that. And Susan, that's just kind of why I'm so iffy with Danielle. Um, oh, I didn't pull your wrench, Edward. If I did, it was an accident because I accidentally pulled somebody else's too. I actually thought Susan was fake at first, but since then we've had several phone conversations, and she's not fake. I'm all right, Susan. Better now that you're here. JFK, I'm not trying to pry, and obviously don't say it here if you don't want to, but like, was this somebody she already knew? Somebody she's already with, or? Yeah, I know you would have, Edward, but I just didn't press the issue. I only made one comment, I think. All right, cool. Yeah, Susan, call me. Yeah, Mandingo, he didn't even ask me for your phone number. I could have gave it to him. I mean, no, I don't know your phone. Never mind. But I don't know if you've been listening the whole time or not, Edward, but I addressed the issue that we talked about earlier today. Um, about that phone call that I never heard. It was mostly about OTR situation, but I did talk about that phone call that I got jumped about that I was supposed to get, never did. Yeah, I trust nobody. She's not going to give. She told me that she would make sure I got it. Well, what do you know? There's Sam. Yeah, Sam. I remember when FCC wanted me canceled. In fact, he told everybody to unsubscribe, and what do you know? Now I'm about one of the only, what, three that'll even let him on? My, how the times have changed. What does entrenched means? It means like you're a deep part of something. At least I hope that's what it means. I hope I've not been using it wrong all these years. I could be wrong. I don't know. Probably better look it up. What's up, FTK? Slap some facts on our thighs. Hell yeah. You can slap whatever you want to on my thighs, big guy. How's it going with the like I watched at least most of the your protest things, which I think is cool as hell, especially with the wood chipper. Um, yeah, we already know you're a Fed. We just been overlooking it, intentionally feeding you misinformation and disinformation. Where's Audrey Snow? Oh, that name sounds familiar, but don't know. He almost got into an accident. There was a motorcycle down on the road. Luckily, the car was behind the motorcycle with light, and the guy from the hold on, it moved. Guy on the motorcycle fled the scene. Basically, car saved my life. Oh wow! Tell you what, there. That's my argument. Well, a lot of people's argument for I like loud bikes. I'm a Harley guy. Um, that's the reason and it's a legitimate reason why we like our bikes loud is because cars just don't seem to see us. We can be right there in front of a car and they just don't see it. Is it Audrey Snow or Pratt? Man, that name sounds familiar, but I know I've seen that name in chats. I could be wrong, but I don't know who Audrey Snow is, I guess. So yeah, if the guy in the motorcycle fled the scene, it was probably either a stolen bike or he was drunk or some shit. Or he had a warrant. Who knows? Oh, shit. Warbot's gonna turn his 500 AI bots loose on us. Okay, cover your eyes, ladies. I'm not sure who this is. Oh, okay. All right. You have a different picture.
Yeah, that's my trailer burning down because I'm from the trailer park, you know.
Well, evidently not anymore.
No, it's gone. I'm anyway. That's just my shot at Denise. No, so yeah, I mentioned that the call, right, because she said she acquired it independently. But now apparently acquiring it independently could mean that she acquired it from Catcher Drama.
Mm-hmm.
Even though independently, I don't know. To me, it doesn't. It means that you went out and FOIA'd it yourself and blah blah blah. But okay, I'll concede that point.
Well, didn't she say that? Like her story kind of jumped around a little bit. Like it didn't really make sense. But didn't she say at one point that Predator Catcher Drama sent it to them and then said, "Well, I'm not gonna post this one, but thought you guys should know about it." Didn't she say something like that?
Yes, and then it went to I got it independently, and now it's like I don't have to tell anybody how I got it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Right.
And then I said, well, you still never sent it to Bill either, right? And she's like, oh well, I don't have to send anything to anybody or whatever. I was like, well, okay, that's cool too. And then she kind of pressed me. I'll release it publicly if you want. And I'm like, okay, cool, do that. And then she's all like, well, you said Warbot's real name. And I don't even know Warbot's real names. I know that's not true. So I challenged her again. I said, put it out public. Do it now. Go ahead. You can put it out. And she declined and said that that's not going to happen and you're not going to get it either. And blah, 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 blah. So,
yeah,
you
her
just gotta,
story skips around.
You just got to take her word for what is said in the call, I guess, without hearing it yourself. But
right, she told me her words were, "I will make sure you get it." Talking about that call, and I've not gotten jack shit.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to come up here to talk shit. I actually came up here to sympathize with JFK's story and say that my niece had a gun pulled on her, shoved right in her face at the store she works at just the other day at closing time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, life is short, everybody.
Yeah, things can happen in an instant.
I mean, that's something that I don't wish on anybody, but especially like a 19-year-old, Like, hey, Sam.
Hey, guys. How we doing tonight?
What's going on there, big guy?
No, I mean, we want to backtrack or sort of neutralize or make it. It was clear for everybody that was on the stream last month what was said. What was said was that on your stream, Bill, last month, PHI came up and said and stated, I have the calls. Right? And this is indisputable. The stream is down now, Bill, but if we need to go back to the tapes, we can probably get them from T-Boy TBS. Obviously, you still have it, but it was indisputable what was said. I mean, and it's just a question about honesty. And I have had to hear people for months claiming this moral high ground, this self-righteous moral high ground of calling out people's lies. And I did a little bit of work and produced a little bit of documents and information. And last month, it was indisputable what was said. And she said that, and it struck me, and I questioned her right away there when she said last month that she had the calls that were unedited, that she heard everything that was unedited. I then asked her directly, well, how did you get the calls? Did you work with Predcatcher Drama to get the calls? She said, no, I got them independently. I requested them, is what she said.
Well, she said she requested that one call, that specific call.
I don't know how she would have done that one specific call. It was, I don't think she said that in that way.
You don't think so?
I think
okay.
She said, I believe, I mean, I was there and I was the one questioning her. So
I got you. I'm just saying, as
know.
a person who listened to it earlier today, I'm just saying that's what I recollect her saying.
No, but you listened to the stream that was done last month with her when she came up on Bill's stream when I was on Bill's stream last month.
Yeah, Bill unlisted it for me so I could hear it earlier.
Okay, so I guess you could reiterate. So she said that she requested one specific phone call. How was she able to just do one out of a number of them?
That's what it makes no sense to me. But she did say she received it independently, because when you asked if she received it from Predcatcher Drama, she said, no, I received it independently. Or I received it on my own, whatever it was, you know?
Right. So, you know, to me, it just boils down to honesty and sort of integrity and ethics. And I thought that a lot of the folks that were dragging part of these dragging streams were, you know, honest and you know, not saying anything false. And so I am very curious both on how she obtained them independently from Predcatcher Drama and how she did it. But my main concern is not her, PHI, but it's really back to the calls themselves. And I think your stream earlier tonight, Ed, and the questions that arose from it yesterday, it really boggles my mind how these calls were obtained. So rather than the clip art that was produced by PCD, in which she didn't produce anything other than trust her, in that was the email that she sent to some unknown government agency or company, in which it didn't list any other information other than her words or whoever's words. And again, another focus of dishonesty was the Predcatcher Drama claimed originally that someone had given them, that she was given these, just like she claimed, Ed, that she got your information. Someone gave it to her. It's obvious now that her or someone working very closely with her is obtaining this information themselves. It wasn't just handed to them on by some sort of deep throat mole.
And she foreshadowed that, Sam, with that before the calls were released. With that, somebody has got me unprecedented access to.
That's right.
People in the community or whatever. An independent source got me, or whatever she said, an insider information about.
Correct.
That's granting me unprecedented access to this community's, you know, people
right.
in this
So it's
community.
It's clear to me that if you look at the language, it's someone that knows the system pretty well. Is it someone like a lawyer? Predcatcher Drama, is Predcatcher Drama a lawyer? Do they work with a lawyer to get this? Are they a bondsman? Are they a process serving company? What do they know the process really well to get these calls that you couldn't? And Ed, let's be clear, you tried to get these calls, correct?
Yeah, I couldn't get them either. I couldn't get them either. Even though they're mine, I can't get them either.
Correct. So the person who has probably the highest reason to obtain them couldn't get them. So I would say, Ed, that you are the primary victim here. And while, you know, I'm not sure how much more harm.
Well, according to the assistant attorney general that emailed you, Sam. Not only am I a victim, but all of you guys are victims as well, right?
Oh no, yeah, no, that is absolutely correct. And since I did the stream yesterday, most, I would say half a dozen of the people that were in those calls have contacted me with varying degrees of how they were individually damaged. There's a lot of conversations about what damages are there, if any. There are no damages. Well, that might not be the case. We don't know everybody's personal circumstances. Did people have to change cell phone numbers? Did people have to move? Did people have to pay for a phone company, different provider? I don't know what people's individual did people have, did anybody's job get affected with the doxing and harassment that extended from these calls? So everyone has to make an individual assessment about what their own damages were. But certainly you were entitled, Edward, to a privacy level that was embedded, I believe, in the Texas code, and they called it a constitutional privacy. So that was violated. Our privacy was violated too, but sort of on a enjoinder, I guess, of your privacy being violated. But for sure, the calls should never have been released. So it comes down to, did NCIC release them, or did they obtain them through some sort of other fraud or illegality?
Right.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to address
I'm not buying that story that they took them all down because somebody reached out to them that was being affected by it, and they just went, "Oh, okay, we'll stop." I don't buy that for a minute.
Of course,
I filed a DMCA copyright takedown on those calls on one of them, and that video has been deleted. And the rest of them were put on private almost immediately after. So I'm not saying that that's why they did it, but I think it's more or less they know the pressure's on, and I did file a DMCA copyright takedown on them.
So
I mean, I'm not into suing people, but like if all I got to do is sign some lawyer's paperwork.
I'll take care, Bill. I'll take care of it all for you. You just need to sign where I'm going to point you to sign. No problem.
Fuck yeah, because it really did hurt. It really did hurt me. Yeah, they can just write it straight to Columbia.
I'm going to send you your neck brace that you need to wear for the next 6 months, Bill, as well.
Do they make a Band-Aid for feelings?
No, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that we don't know everybody's individual circumstances, as far as some people may have been harmed in some ways that we don't even know about, and that they are not speaking on. So it was really, the motivation was to hurt and harass. That was the motivation for these releases. There was no public information in these recordings. Predcatcher Drama had claimed that they had, quote unquote, another sort of the bullshit line item, hey, we have our attorney looking into the possibility of there being a criminal conspiracy here. Like I put in my comment on my post earlier today, where is that update? If there was an element of criminal conspiracy, I would love for you to deliver those recordings that you obtained somehow to a law enforcement officer. If there was some sort of criminal conspiracy within the calls, I would love that investigation to proceed to Predcatcher Drama. And so it just gets back to this idea of honesty. And this is something that people have been so heavily reliant on, that channel, to produce vicious, vitriolic dragging information. And people can continue to sort of redirect my hey, you need to focus on this. No one needs to tell me what I need to focus on, or that I need to spend my time this way or that way. You're not going to drag me, you're not going to harass me, and you're not going to come at me and then tell me to be a little good boy and sit in the corner and do my work when none of the people that are claiming that I need to put catches up or where's this and where's that, and you need to sit in the corner and let us drag you while you remain silent while we wait for you to produce videos from your catches in Florida when we're not even catchers. And all the time that people think that I spent, it took me maybe 2 hours, maybe total 2 to 4 hours. Predcatcher Drama spent a month and a half, probably, illegally potentially obtaining these and then editing them and put together. How much time could PCD have spent catching predators, decoying? For this supposed channel and this supposed individual that loves catches, that loves supporting decoys, and they spend all their time editing crap, bullshit crap to hurt people in the community and more broadly. I don't see a damn thing that Predcatcher Drama has done to support anyone other than this sort of attack mode. And so I'm getting sick of the moral high ground that's out there that don't tell me what I need to focus on. I'll do what I damn well please. And it's time for Predcatcher Drama to do something positive for the community. Like, instead of spend your time trying to drag people through potentially illegally recorded, illegally obtained phone calls, do something positive for the community. So it didn't take me that much time to sniff out their bullshit. And as far as the Alex Murdaugh calls, those were done in South Carolina. There's different laws potentially for South Carolina. The laws that govern Texas is what the Attorney General's office referred me to. And then they referred me to a Supreme Court case. So anyway, I just wanted to jump up and say that, and the sort of narrative shifting that, and now people want to act like, oh, we're moving on from these calls. They took their shot, just like the drive-by media. Take your shot, don't give people time to respond, hurt and harm, and then move on and act like nothing happened at all. And then, leave bodies and body bags in the wake. And then when people try to go and sniff out your bullshit, wash your hands of it, delete everything, and then never address it again. Predcatcher Drama never has addressed any questions that have been posed. Once in a blue moon comes into Cap's channel to sort of get all the praise and the glory for what boils down to dishonesty, deceit, and fraud. And it's sad, particularly because there's a certain group of people that believe this channel and believe the content. I wanted those phone calls because I feel for certain there was a lot of things edited from me, my own voice. And I wanted to get them not for a second do I believe anything that Predcatcher Drama produces. I wanted to get those phone calls for my own verification of, is that what I actually said? And now I can't do it. So at this point, I dispute anything and everything that they've released potentially illegally. So anyway,
I never listened to call one, but you're not the first person that says that they think their call was altered either. A few people think that what was said on the call was not what they actually said, but there's no way to find out,
And I don't want you to have to comment on this either, but there are missing calls. I would say there's anywhere between 10 and 20 missing calls. And, for you to protect your own privacy, Ed, you can talk to whoever you want to on any side of people in this community. But, my suspicion is they may be protecting someone or conversations or certain groups of people. So, again, it boils down to honesty. And I think that it is an incredibly dishonest channel and a dishonest person that runs the channel. And they'll never come up and answer anything like me, and that I have with, I spent 3 months answering questions about the Florida trip. So anyway, well, hey, good evening, FCC. What's up?
I'm just working on becoming deeply entrenched in the affairs of the community, Sam. So, a question for you.
I think you've proven yourself to be
Yeah,
like
I'm a
a
fraud.
true
Probably
gatekeeper.
I'm a fraud.
you're so deeply entrenched that you may be the Mariana Trench in the Pacific.
Yeah. Anyhow, so I think the call. I mean, I don't know if specific calls were like doctored, but obviously it's hard to tell. Like if we only know what the numerator is. We don't know what the denominator is. So for people that don't understand fucking math, which is probably 90% of you, like you're only
Me.
getting like force fed a small snippet of calls, that had to do with particular people, and we don't know what the entirety of the calls were that Ed made. Ed Shirley called his family, and there was this narrative like he didn't call his family. Why is he only calling, fucking Cat Eyes? I'm like, well, because that's what they're feeding you. And so, I mean, that's one thing. And then the second thing is, for Sam, for you, and I don't really know. I mean, other than like financial gain, not for you, but like, what what is your take on? And this has no like impact on what is going to happen legally, but what is PCD's like end game?
If it was
Who are they?
financial gain, that's going to
Who?
be an issue because
Um,
electronic communications that are
sure.
intercepted and then released online is a violation
Yeah,
of
but
the
I'm
law.
like, who are they trying to protect? Like, what is their end game?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist. There's obviously something, FCC, I've said this for a couple of weeks now. Something happened to that channel, very strange and bizarre, where it flipped from a fun, entertaining channel to a dragging, hurtful, malicious channel. And it happened back in January, February of this year, where it went from a channel that produced really light, comedic videos that were well produced to we're going to now target people viciously. And then if you look back at that time frame, I would note that that's the time that Penny Ortiz and Edward had a stream that made certain allegations that were not accurate about PHI and that team, and that turned out to hurt them, or they claim hurt them very much in their catching career.
Right.
And so this all thing kind of bubbled up together, and then Gabby, there's no credibility, there's no corroboration to her claim that she's Predcatcher Drama. She was being sarcastic, but the fact of the matter is there is probably a very close connection between PHI and Predcatcher Drama. They first initiated an attack on Julie, and then they went to Matt and Edward, and they've been nothing but, and then they started some things about Sabby. There's a very clear target that they have. And so what is their end game?
Well,
I don't
didn't Sammy tell me that she had gotten the call that she chewed me out for, that wasn't even my call? Didn't she say that Predcatcher Drama gave that to her, and they weren't going to put it out there because it could be damaging to them? And then here they come chewing me out for it and telling people about it when they could have talked to me privately. Didn't she say that she had gotten it from Predator Catcher Drama, and they weren't going to put it out?
Well, again, that would
her first stream she did, and then she said, "Well, I can get it anyway. I just have to pay a little money." That's what she said on that Saturday, and then that Sunday was the panel that I think Sam was on with you, and she came on there and said at that point that she got it independently. No,
she may have said something to you, but it was unequivocal. When I asked her directly last month, "Are you working with Predcatcher Drama? Did they give you these audio recordings?"
She straight up said no.
No,
she got it independently.
She said no. She got them herself. So,
yeah, and I heard that too, and she tried to walk that back today.
Well,
in an interesting way.
And I'm really not even that's not necessarily the interesting component to this. The interesting component is, where's PCD?
Right.
Where's PCD to go into Cap's channel once a month to do victory laps on her dragging and malicious attacks and assaults, to answer some questions that might be out there. Did she get a different answer than I got from the agencies that I contacted? Who was her contact at NCIC that gave up the information to her?
Right.
Where are those? Did they provide them by disc? Was it by email? Do you have a contact of the person that distributed them to you? Again, she provided a clip art of a couple words she wrote in her request.
Oh, the clip
But
art
again,
was bullshit. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like someone could do that on a Word document and just
Mhm.
write that and say, this is the request that got me this information, but provide no corroboration and no verification for it. And something in court, this is why everything outside of court is considered hearsay, because nothing is considered to be, it's considered to be, you know, sort of not necessarily not credible, but it's to be unreliable. And so she's claiming this outside of court, and
Mhm.
that there's no. She says that this is what she sent to someone, with all just providing what the words were. And again, I proved in my contacts with those agencies, I used those exact words to request that information, and at every step of the way, I was denied.
Yep.
So
So my whole point is, and I think hopefully Sam, you'll appreciate this, and for people that are listening, including if PCD is listening, you know, from a behavioral kind of like psychological perspective, what happened that triggered PCD to kind of ramp up her or his activity to the point where, because you know, making funny videos, dragging people, funny, that's fun, right? But this was a pretty, like, this is like a quantum shift, a quantum leap to actually exposing these jail calls, right? So like, what was the motive? I mean, obviously apparently they were not thinking properly, because now there's going to be exposure, and that's coming. But like, what was the motivating factor to have somebody put themselves in that kind of like zone of risk, right? Like, is it money?
well,
Is
I
it
think that there's a
drama?
personal
Is it like
no, I
what? Like,
think
what is it?
I think there's a personal vendetta, if we can presume who the identity is of the operator or operators of that channel. I believe that they have a personal vendetta against Edward, and by extension, anyone that they view as targets of, or in the circle of Edward. You know, Edward and Julie were our good friends. Matt ran a stream earlier this year every morning, a part of the community, sort of following up with Tommy's stuff. And so, is it a channel in support of Tommy? Is it a channel with a personal vendetta against Edward? I think that there's a mix of that. Is it a pro? Did PHI connect with PCD to join as one to go after both pro Edward people and people that PHI may have a vendetta?
Yep.
So, I mean, I think
Yeah.
there's a mix of things, but that all connects back to their credibility, right? They have a personal vendetta against them, which makes them less credible when they're starting to target people. It may make them get a little sloppy. They may make some errors. They might get arrogant, and they might do things in a terrorizing way. Like, okay, you go after Edward. The guy has been dragged for the last 4 months and said literally the worst of the worst things about. There's probably little more that you could actually drag Edward at this point. I think we've reached the conclusion of, the things that could be said towards him. But really, this was about terrorizing the people that Edward had called, and that was
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
So my question back to you is,
It's a
why
fear tactic. It's a fear tactic.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
And I can say that I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot exactly what I talked to Edward about in those calls. And, I wasn't concerned, but the drip nature of these calls, releasing them 1 or 2 a day, and then you have the night streams based on what was said during the day. And it was all sort of very, together, this.
It's an orchestra.
Yeah, it was absolutely an orchestra that was designed to strike fear and terror, not in Edward necessarily, but in the people that Edward communicated with.
Mm-hmm.
And what in the fuck did some of those people's in those okay, you want to come at me? A lot of people do. I'm a big boy. I'm ready. I got my shield. I got my armor on, whatever. But there's a lot of people in those calls, and there's a lot of things that were said that was health related, that was sort of run of the mill. It was sort of just mocking people for how they talked and what they were saying. And then there was trying to pit one versus another. Me and Edward were talking about, we were laughing about, we're both very good friends with JT, and we were laughing about some of the problems he was having with, the phone call receipt. That wasn't like in any way, in any context, that should not be ruled of, we were talking behind his back, we're two-faced. And there were some things that I said that were meant for Edward and Edward only. And now the whole community found out, and then people get mad at me. It's like they're mad at me for saying something, but I didn't want that, people's personal business stuff, and some other things that I said. But in any event, there's no end game for me. I did my research. I followed up, tried to track it down. I released what I did yesterday to show and demonstrate that people need to get off their ass sometimes and just go and verify things. Don't take what's fed to you just because it sounds good, or just because you don't like Edward or you don't like me. Don't just take what's fed to you as the gospel truth because the person delivering it also doesn't like Edward or like me or anyone else. That I think it changes the game that, if there was some sort of dishonesty, deceit, or fraud with these calls, that the people that were damaged maybe far more than I was, and I'm not claiming to have been damaged. I'm not claiming to that I'm seeking any type of recourse. But I do know that people potentially were damaged and hurt and harmed.
Oh, I got emotional whiplash, man. I'll be suffering for years.
Well, Bill, to be honest, you sort of made some incriminating statements in those calls that not released. You better be looking out for some sort of indictment here coming in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Nobody should have known about the 3 dead hookers in my trunk except for Edward.
And this is the ridiculous nature of this community was what Jeff did too. I mean, the nut job goes on a live to tell me why I should have directed people to a content protected pay-per-view catch that was just ending when I was just going on. And it's just, then he goes live and totally distracts from that catch while claiming I should have been distributing links to the catch. It's just
yeah, that kind of shit's gonna drive you crazy, man. So don't.
No, it doesn't. No, but SEC, it doesn't, because I've seen it here now for a long time.
Yeah,
and, it's not. It doesn't drive me crazy, but
it's trite. It's trite.
No, yeah, I understand. But anyway, I just think that it's a question of honesty, and it's not surprising that there were a couple streams today with very few people addressing and head on the things that I brought up yesterday, right? There were some distracting things that going on, which was
OTR, right?
Yes, as you alluded to, FCC, people have known about some things and they found it convenient to drag someone. When everybody was accusing, that deflected, when that whole deflected item came out that Predcatcher Drama put up when Ed ran a stream, maybe without all the information about pro cop hater, and they claimed that he was just trying to distract from his own issues. Well, isn't it interesting that someone today was dragged for something that had been known for several months?
Exactly.
On the day after I produced verifiable information that the calls were likely illegally obtained or illegally released.
Hello.
And so, isn't that interesting, though? Yes.
Yeah, and everybody that participated in it, all, they're you either fucking sheep or you're dumb ass sheep.
It just shows the hypocrisy in this community. It's been, running rampant for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they drove him, OTR is having a difficult time right now with both his personal and his business stuff he's got going in his career. He's being dragged by a group of the council, the Dark Council, over on this sort of TV evangelist leader and subordinates, dragging him, calling him all sorts of names, throwing up photos of him that are not him, and sort of really, really going in on him. And people felt it convenient that this was an opportune time to bring up the fact that, he may have done something on a catch that was not appropriate to do. That today was the day. And then you drive him to the point where he says that he's going to harm himself. And then you think it's funny, or you think it's that's a respectable thing to do. And then we want to talk about Deflect Ed back in April. What about today? Today was a day of deflection.
Yeah. So let's wait for the maybe tomorrow the PCD video will drop around the fucking PHI stream today, and how it drove OTR almost to the brink of self-harm.
Yeah.
So
don't hold your breath for it, because that channel never answers any questions. And
notifications are on.
What is that?
My notifications are on, so if it
yeah.
drops, I'll know.
Well, I would actually think that the channel's actually going to get totally deleted before they produce any more things. Now they got their strikes in. They did the maximal amount of damage that they could do to Edward and those around him. And then they got in a few digs to a bunch of random people that happened to take a couple phone calls from Ed while he was in jail. And, I don't think they have much else to offer, FCC. They don't decoy, they don't catch. They claim to enjoy both, don't do either. And they spend a bunch of time doing this type of harmful material and then never answer any questions, never come up and talk about it. Tommy Boy can create countless amounts of videos of me. Why? Why can he do that? Because I fucking come up and answer questions to the best of my ability and knowledge at the time. That's why he can go and create his things. How about Predcatcher Drama come up and answer a few questions that I and a lot of other people have for her on, who she, how she produces her videos, how she obtains the information in her videos, how she chooses targets, and what was her background in the community. Did she lie about her background? Did she lie about how her historical things? So anyway.
The only other thing that she could put out that would damage me is the body cam, and they're not of the house raid, and or in its attempt to embarrass me and all that shit. But they're not going to release that, so it's really
Well, and I
think she's done there.
Yeah, and I am using, if she wants to be upset with me calling her she, the tone of her, the comments seem to be a female. I'm just going to lay it out there why. And Tommy has said dozens and dozens of times, has called Predcatcher Drama she, before he waits a few seconds, if not more than a minute, and says, well, maybe he or they. So that's why
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm not doing anything that Tommy himself isn't done. And it's a very obvious that they are very close friends, PCD and Tommy. And so I just use the term she, because that's in fact what Tommy does.
And Ryan has done the same too. Ryan has said, like, I don't know who she is. I don't know who she is.
I never said that, Jim Butler. Okay. I said it would be an attempt to embarrass me more. By also invading my privacy to release that as well,
Well,
right.
Yeah, and the fact that these calls, again, this is what I've had to tell a number of people. Ryan, I didn't feel like talking to last night for obvious reasons, but I do wish him and his family the best during the period in life that they're at. But even if he doesn't want me, if he wants to come back with a nasty nasty vitriolic response when I was offering sympathy to him and his family, and he came back with the most disgusting, hateful message. That's okay, Ryan. I don't. If you don't want to accept it, I'm still going to offer it. But the fact that he was bringing up a point last night before he was flicked away from my stream was that the fact that these calls we know that they're being recorded, does not mean that they are available to the general public, right? So the fact that it says these calls will be monitored and recorded, it is the presumption that they're being monitored and recorded for jail safety and security, and for, talking about a crime that the inmate is there for. That, yes, I can't tell, if you're there, you robbed a bank, and I'm here talking to you about, well, you did rob the bank, and where do you want me to cover up the money that you took, and what car did we use, and I'm an accomplice, and I'm talking to you about the crime that you're in jail for sure, that can be used against you in the court by a prosecutor. But you're not being recorded so the general public can FOIA it. So that was one thing that Ryan was trying to say that's totally ridiculous argument to make.
Law and crime gets calls that are fucking used in the courtroom, motherfucker. That's how. Jim Butler.
Yeah. So it is late. I wanted to pop up here and say, is Telly move? Hello,
Hey,
Telly.
hey, mate. Sam, just before you go, bud.
Roboting.
Who, me or Sam?
Sam.
Okay. I was sort of looking at this your freedom of information stuff the other day and laws and so on, and it says that anything that's used, any sort of document or recording that's made by a government organization in carrying out its duties is open for FOI. And I sort of thought this to me seems sort of similar to a body cam footage that police take during an arrest. It's like the body cam footage as a file is available for FOI, and the content of that is what it is, sort of thing. And it sort of struck me that this is a similar sort of thing. It's like they're recording the event as such, and then the conversation content is what it is.
Wait, are you talking about the calls, Telly?
Yeah. Just there's a sort of similarity between the two.
Yeah, he's trying to lump. He's trying to lump everything
together. When the assistant attorney general says that those calls,
I'm not trying to lump it together. I'm just trying to look at it from a legal perspective.
Let me tell you.
Well, wait a minute. Let me go here. If a police officer was going to use a phone from inside the jail to make an outside phone call, if a public official was going to use the jail to call someone on the outside, and that call was recorded, potentially there might be an argument that call could be FOIA'd. These are two private citizens talking to one another, one in jail on government property, one outside of jail not using government property.
Yeah, but the fact that it's being recorded as part of a government process to safeguard the jail, and it's being recorded for the purposes of government process, that means that it's available for FOI, as I understand it.
It's not true.
No,
because it violates.
Yeah, okay. I understand it. I understand it violates privacy thing, but that's a separate sort of thing. It's still being done as part of a government process, so wouldn't that make it available under FOI?
No, it would not,
so
because the assistant attorney general says that I have a reasonable expectation of privacy even in jail, and the people I call have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and those calls should not have been released because of a Texas statute that's in the Texas government code that deals with privacy issues specific like that.
So there's a difference there's a difference in threshold here. I think that's what Telly's getting at. Versus body cam and documents, warrants or legal documents pertaining to an arrest and body cam footage. But then once somebody is incarcerated, by the state and detained, the threshold is much higher in terms of privacy. Right.
Okay.
So like when you're being arrested, when you are being recorded in the process of a crime or an arrest, like those things are generally public in
But
court.
you're looking at it from a privacy perspective and not from an FOI perspective, though. The FOI
No, they're the
says
same thing. Freedom of
no,
information is all about privacy.
It's not. It's about freedom of information. Freedom of information is about looking at the operations of the organisation, such as the prison system. That's what that's about. It's about looking so that you've got access to what the government is doing. That's what FOI is about.
Right,
and
but
then
government though.
Privately, so that's where it seems to me like this has never really been tested under in a court system.
You can't request like a regular fucking. I mean, how is that looking into the court system? Looking into the prison system, requesting random ass, inmates' phone calls.
Again, I think you're missing this, Kelly, in that for FOIA requests, we're talking about government officials.
No, it's government agents as well. It's not just governments themselves; it's government agents, and this is an agent working on behalf.
FTK has done thousands of FOIA requests, and he just said FOIA is a multifaceted, and nearly all exclusions have to do with privacy.
Two private citizens talking to each other, or there's no government agents involved in that. Two private citizens talking to each other.
No, it's not whether the government. Yeah, but it's being done to protect as part of a government process, and that process under FOI is open for evaluation by the public. That's my point. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to understand how.
Well, no,
it works a little bit.
Well, all I do is I'd love to understand it too, and that way gets back to the question of all Predcatcher drama has to do is release
absolutely.
Did you get this information? Get these calls from NCIC, the phone company? Did she get them from Polk County? Did she get them from the Attorney General's office? I'm curious about if they release the evidence, the data, sort of the not just a clip art of a photograph of words you wrote on a Word document, but actually give me the data of who, what, where, why, and when of how you got these phone calls. We would actually get the answers to that, Telly, how that happened. But I'm not going to.
I would have thought. I mean, if it was obtained under FOI, isn't that in itself available?
Well, why
information?
I made Telly. I made this.
You made that request, did you? Sorry, I didn't listen to the premium tonight, mate. So
I took the exact same wording that Predcatcher drama claimed to have used and gave it to all three entities, and I was met with the same answer. It's someone else's job, and by the way, they're not releasable. It's someone else's job, and someone else's job, and by the way, they're not releasable. So that's
did you actually ask them whether they had released the calls to somebody else?
They wouldn't give me even that information. We already spoke on this, didn't we?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't fucking remember.
A couple weeks ago, you were asking me how. I was saying how many. I did ask them, though, and they would release nothing. They would release not even that information, citing inmate privacy laws and citing the fact that they were the property of the government, and only the government could give authority to release them. So. And the government said that they had no authority to release, citing the code dealing with constitutional privacy.
Okay. So that implies as well that they're going under FOI, is that it's the government. It's like it's not owned by the agent. It's the information is owned by the government, and they're acting on behalf of the government.
Yes, correct.
But the other thing that I sort of think is like, how can Jeremy? I mean, it's happened before because Jeremy DeWitt's fucking private phone calls are out there as well.
Well, wait a minute.
I know it's a different state, though.
We don't know how they were released. Was that, of course, Jeremy DeWitt is a character. If Jeremy DeWitt calls me, I'm going to be recording it, and I'm going to immediately be putting it on YouTube to get clicks and views, right? So
that's private.
We don't know how
that's private. that's private conversations which between him and his girlfriend and him and his wife, which are damaging to her. That have clearly been. I mean, to me, it's like it seems like they've been obtained by somebody in the same manner that these phone calls have, and then being released into public. And they've been out there for a long time, and nothing's happened about those.
But remember that some jail calls are released because there's an ongoing criminal case that relates to their release. When a jail call has some sort of element of a prosecutorial or defense argument that is made, the calls then become part of the criminal case. The criminal case is then available to inspection by the public. If there's no criminal case to go off of or a civil case to go off, which in this case there wasn't, that is the other element here that
whether it's a person's under investigation or not, or whether they're actually serving time as a punishment, is it?
Well, no, it's like no. So Alex Murdaugh calls his son and says he's in jail for murder. He calls his son and says, "I murdered my wife, son, and I murdered your brother," and he admits to it. And it's a jail call. It's recorded. Prosecutors are listening. The jail is listening. They give that information to the prosecution. The prosecution then uses that jail call at trial. Yes, that jail call is now made into the public record, and the public can hear it for sure.
If it's part of evidence, you mean?
If it's part of that's exactly. If it's part of
evidence. All right, but it's not available for the general public to try and find out whether or not there's been a breach of a law or anything.
Right, because I'm not responsible for jail.
Correct.
It's jail security. I don't think the jail wants the general public to know how they conduct their security in jail, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Jeremy DeWitt's calls were used in a domestic violence case.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
That explains that. Yeah.
Something else real quick, guys, is and I've run into this, and I'm sure that FTK's probably run into this, but it also kind of depends on who you're dealing with, even though they're all supposed to follow the same rules. Because sometimes places will either just have a website up, and you can just go get whatever you want, and other times, like, they run you through the ringer and try to come up with excuses, and you have to file more paperwork, and a lot of places just give you a hard time about getting stuff. So you can get different answers from calling different places.
Right. And so the only questions are left are for Predcatcher Drama to detail and enumerate, the who, what, where, why kind of question. And instead of the snapshot clip art that they released and having us cross our fingers and trust them that that's indeed what they wrote to someone, what agency was that? That didn't look like I released the actual FOIA that the Attorney General's office uses. I snapshotted what the portal looks like. What they released was basically a Word document or a notes document from a laptop or a computer. And it wasn't part of any portal. It didn't look like they didn't post any response, and they didn't say who they sent that to. And so again, when you look at someone's credibility and the veracity of their claims, I think we all should demand something more than just that. And again, that's if people care anymore. It's very clear now that a lot of people don't care about them anymore. They got the digs in. These impacted people negatively that they wanted to hurt. The people got doxxed and harassed who needed to be doxxed and harassed. And they're moving on. Now it's old. This is all old news. It's called the drive-by draggers, and the drive-by draggers got what they wanted, and now we're on to bigger and better things.
So are you calling this a Todd receipt? Are you?
not as blatantly obviously manipulated as Todd's receipt, but at least with Todd's receipt we had some data. Made up, but data nonetheless.
It's a sort of interesting point. I mean, it's something that's I don't know. It doesn't seem, just looking on the web, there seems like there's different opinions about it, even from legal companies in legal.
Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, but again, this is what I'm telling everybody. I don't. Whatever Google is telling you is great. You can get down a rabbit hole I went
Yeah,
to the sources and requested from the sources and I distributed the answers.
But even with that, and unless the thing is, I mean, they write a law, and I think FTK was implying this the other day, and it's like it's there as a fucking whatever, it's a law, but until it's actually tested in a fucking legal situation, which it doesn't really seem like this has been done, fully.
Potentially, if you are suggesting that it needs to be tested, it should have been tested on the opposite side, which was not on the side of the calls were released, and now it has.
No, I mean, by tested, I mean there hasn't been a legal case which has gone through the courts where private phone calls have been released into the public onto a platform like YouTube, and whether or not that is,
Well, okay. For instance,
breaking the Constitution or breaking the freedom. It's like a question of Constitution versus FOI to me, and it hasn't been fully tested. There's no law, there's no legal case which you can point to as a, basically as a test and say, it's fucking Ed versus the state in 2023 was. The groundbreaking case which tested Constitution versus FOI in criminal private phone conversations. That hasn't happened yet.
So I basically the takeaway I got from this was that that constitutional privacy that we all have, including inmates, is higher than any FOIA request that can be made. That FOI requests do not trump an inmate's constitutional privacy. That's the takeaway I got from the answers I got.
Yeah, but that's only the opinions of those two organisations. It hasn't actually been tested in court. What I'm saying.
Those are the only two organizations that could have released calls, and they gave those opinions. So, that's the.
Well, yeah, but it's like, but those calls are out there. Ultimately, aren't they? So it's like until someone fucked up, and someone's going to have to either admit that they fucked up, or they're going to have to defend themselves.
Yeah.
And
that's. I do want to give a thing that I've and it wasn't patronizing to you, Telly, but as I've still listened to streams, and again, you have proven time and time again that you were willing to take on people that are doing bad things in the community, no matter what side it's on. And,
fuck you! Sorry, no, that's all right, mate. I mean, this is just an interesting fucking legal thing. That was all
right. Yeah. Well, no. I think that, and I do want to give a shout out to this person. I've never talked to this person, but I would really rely on. There's someone in the community that I very suspect is an attorney, and it's her or his name is EFJ. And they really provide concise information that seems to be very legally driven. So I would rely heavily on when EFJ is talking anything about the law and legal things, that I listen to her or him for sure. Sometimes they've said things that are about my opinions that, they're saying that I didn't know what I was talking about. And sometimes they've said that I was spot on. So EFJ, wherever you're at, I would love to hear more of your perspectives. So.
Okay. And it was just a perspective, that's all. But I mean, how they were obtained is still an interesting thing. It's like that, but like you guys have been alluding, they're both saying that they're not available. So somebody's fucking fucked up, and that's going to be expensive for one of those. For somebody, it's going to be expensive because it seems like no matter who you talk to, it's outside of their. They shouldn't have been released, and they have been released. I mean, there's no way that fucking the panel channel sort of got them. It's fucking highly unlikely that they know someone inside the fucking prison system that's actually given them to them, so one of those two organisations is fucked up in their processes, and that sounds like an expensive out-of-court settlement or a fucking in-court settlement. And I'd suggest probably an out-of-court settlement. if you
Well,
pushed them, fucking push them, go for some fucking cash. Fucking, you see
well,
people getting fucking millions of fucking dollars for wrongful arrests and shit, and getting handcuffed and having their privacy fucking taken away by police officers all the fucking time. It's like,
well, I think it would be a comical end to this whole process in which these calls were obtained to hurt Edward,
but wouldn't it?
Potentiality that he gets a big check out of all of this when all is said and done. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's kind of a comedic.
Well, let's hope if he does, he gives some to Lisa. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, as long as he's being extorted like I am by Vic, that if I don't give, he's coming out. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right, you all have a good night. Again, I'm seeing an empty hot tub there, FCC. So enjoy yourself on yet another lonely hot tub night.
You can see it turning yellow from a sort of bleeding out from where the camera is, can't you? I'm in. See you guys. See you. Thanks, Bill, for letting me up.
Yeah.
Sam,
Thanks.
Later.
No problem, Telly.
Bill, thanks for having me up. FCC, have an enjoyable night yet again in a lonely, lonely hot tub. Don't get too entrenched in there, okay?
I won't. Good seeing you around. Yeah, good on you, Sam. Bill, thanks for having me up.
Hey, no problem. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
And now I'm all alone by myself again. I'll be all right. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. No, for real though, guy. I would have been. I really didn't want to run this long. But had I not, I can assure you, I would be 3 shades of fucked up right now. And it's been a while since I've been fucked up out of necessity. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of, like remembering what the hell I did last night, or who I pissed off. It's got its benefits. I'm not saying I'm gonna stay sober forever, because it's a little bit late to get started tonight, unless I just pound a bunch of pills, which I don't know. I am gonna be taking my Ambien so I can get some fucking sleep. But yeah, guys, these jail calls, my calls being released have hurt me emotionally, because ever since these calls have dropped, I've been nothing but a big old pervert. All right, yeah, Andrea D. I will always be nice to you, even if you tried to kill me just because you're so damn hot. I would probably let you get away with it. Same thing goes with oh man, I had quite a few simp-worthy ladies in here tonight that I didn't want to cut people off, so I didn't hit on anybody. But yeah. We just picked up 190 dilaudid 8 milligram for 300. Holy shit, that's a hell of a deal. Are they the real thing? You got to be careful, man, because they can make pills that look just like the real thing, but they're actually fentanyl. So do be careful. Actually, you should probably send me about half of them so I can sample them for you, and I will let you know if they're okay. So, if you don't hear from me, then just assume that they're not, or assume that I took too many. I'm not into rocks, drama queen. Sorry to disappoint you. I mean, yeah, and I realize it's just cocaine and baking soda, but I just don't like how people act on crack. So I'm not a crack kind of guy. I've never actually smoked crack. I've never smoked cocaine at all, if you can believe that. Oh no, that's not true. I have smoked it in cigarettes and in joints or whatever, but as far as actual rock, no. that same reason I've never, well, like, I'm sure that somewhere along the line I've probably gotten meth in with my coke. But I've never intentionally done meth. I just don't like how people act on that shit. Plus, like, all drugs will wreck your life, but meth seems to do it really fast. Well, hey, all right, Jim Butler. Good for you then. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit jealous. You live in Seattle. Hey, the mail system goes straight to my house. Although I'm not giving any motherfuckers my address. I don't know. You free-based and an electric stovetop with a room. Interesting. I actually have not encountered like I don't really hang out with drug people unless I'm getting drugs, but I've not I've not encountered trank, so I don't know if it's just not out this way or I don't know, maybe I don't get around enough, but I've actually not encountered trank yet, and I don't think I want to. I mean, yeah, I mean fucking passing out and falling asleep standing up, whatever, but I don't know. I don't think I want to get wrapped up into that. I can fall asleep standing up on Ambien. When Bill gets lit, his butthole gets loose. It just depends on how bad I need the money. It's not gay if you're doing it for drugs, right? Yeah, and I heard that Vic is telling people that I snort Ambien. I do not snort Ambien. They are too big to fit up the straw. And I really don't, even if you crush them up, I don't think it would work. So no, I do not snort Ambien. Ketamine, I tried the ketamine therapy. Um, it's been a few years ago, but that shit, man, yeah, it cured it. It did help with the pain, but I think I just wasn't concerned with the pain anymore because I was convinced that there was a demonic priest in the room with me. I mean, like in my mind, like I knew it was a hallucination, but like it was real as fuck, and it just wasn't. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't cool. I didn't like it. Every time I did it, man, I mean, it was all in a controlled environment. It was always done at the hospital, but every time I did it, there was a fucking priest that was actually really a shadow man that was there for my soul, and it just wasn't worth it. So. Yeah, yeah, Jim Butler, I think you're right. That's like when people snort Vicodin, or I guess it's Norco now. There's very, very little by volume. There's very little narcotic in there. It's all fucking Tylenol and binders. So it seems like it would clog up your sinuses before it, you know, did you any good narcotics wise. So I never got into that. I've seen people say that it works. I don't know. I mean, I have broken down um, Vicodin, and it makes a hell of a lot of powder when you crush them things up. And it takes a lot of hydrocodone to do anything for me, so I would have to, yeah, it just wouldn't be worth it. Now, I have done I need to do DMT again if I can. Like, of course, I know people that say they have it, but not all DMT is the same. And I want to do it like I did before with somebody that knows what they're doing. Because that shit fucking, like it, I struggle with depression a lot. And I just did it one time. Well, actually, it was 2 times, but they were right there, just a day apart. And like it, like cured up my depression, and like it kind of gave me an insight. I know it sounds weird, but yeah, it did do me a hell of a lot of good. I need to find somebody that I know has a good supply and try it again. Snorted Klonopin. I don't think I've ever snorted benzodiazepines. I just don't really need to taking them orally. That's something else that I just have a naturally high tolerance to. So it does take a lot to do a whole lot for me, but I've never felt the need to snort them. And not everything gets absorbed well. Some things I've never really tried it, but I know a lot of people that stuff their pain pills up their ass, and they say it really helps a lot. I don't know. I'll just swallow them. I used to salvia when it was legal in my state. I used to do that once in a while. I'm not really big on hallucinogens. Yeah, opioids do get a hold of you. Believe it or not, y'all, I was not a drug guy until I got hurt and doctors started giving me all kinds of shit. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but yeah, I wasn't. I would buy maybe like 10 Vicodin a year, and because of my jobs, I was always we always had random drug tests. Plus, if you got hurt or you hurt somebody else, you were going to get tested. So it wasn't worth risking my job, But once I had that prescription, I could do all I wanted to. So I would buy like 10 Vicodin a year and only take them, like on vacation when I knew it wasn't going to be tested for a while. Yeah, that's the thing is when it comes to getting off of shit, like I can deal with the physical, being sick physically. It's the fucking depression that I can't get past, and the restless legs. Um, the restless legs is worse than the pain. But I mean, I used to take when I you guys are probably sick of hearing about this because I've told this story a million times. But when my addiction was at the height, I was taking 1,000 milligrams of oxy a day plus whatever else I could get a hold of. Xanax, Klonopin, Halcyon, yeah, Vicodin, Norcos, Now, I'm not advising anybody try what I'm about to tell you, but I quit for about 2 years and then started back up with a morphine prescription, and I've been able to reasonably control it. Sometimes I go on binges and I take way more than I should, and I mix more shit than I should, but um, yeah, I'm not as bad as I used to be. But that's just because the stuff, like back then, I was making shit tons of money, and um, they were writing prescriptions for it like crazy, so it was easier to get off the street. Um, but had it not been for those two things, I probably would be back up as high as I used to be. Prison got you clean, it'll do it. Oh yeah, before they started putting them in the Matrix. Yeah, that's when I started on them, was before they started making them abuse resistant. There's no such thing as abuse proof, but yeah. Oh yeah, I remember the old ones. Eight to 1280s a day. Yeah, it don't take long for it to keep. Like I was on Vicodin for about 2 years, and I never lost control of it. I wasn't taking as many as I had a prescription for, so I had a big stockpile. But I went to a different pain doctor, and he's like, "Well, all this Tylenol is going to kill your liver, so we're going to switch you to oxys." And I mean, at the time, like everybody knew how addictive Percocets were, and those are oxycodone. Well, it didn't make sense for the OxyContin to be less addictive just because they're time released, because you're still getting it in your system. Well, yeah, them telling us that it was less addictive all turned out to be bullshit. But I'm like, well, this guy went to medical school. What the fuck do I know? And I should have listened to my gut, because I did lose control on oxys. Yeah, the Sacklers and the Purdue family and all them. Yeah. And then they just wanted to cut you off cold turkey. That's how so many people wound up on heroin. The doctors would get them hooked, and then they would just yank it away from them. Then at that time it wasn't hard to find somebody that had prescriptions you could get them off of. And then when that got to be too expensive, or people just couldn't find them, I mean, I saw people go to heroin that I never in a million years would have thought went to heroin. Like, it would boggle my mind the amount of people that, like, I lost touch. After I left my steelworker job, I lost touch with a lot of them. And then I run into somebody a few years later, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so and so died, and so died." I'm like, "How the fuck?" "Oh, they OD'd on heroin." I'm like, "Man, I cannot imagine that guy doing heroin," but they were. Bill is a good stream host when he focuses. I don't know about all that. Yeah, that's see, I was a bail bondsman. I don't remember seeing you around before, Jim, but I'll tell you my story. Everybody else here has heard it. I was a bail bondsman, so of course I knew who all the drug dealers were. And when I started, see, I had this big stockpile of Vicodin. And actually, I had a stockpile of the oxys at first too, because I think the Vicodin, I was up. Man, I can't remember now. I could have up to. I think my prescription was for Well, it was for 180 a month, and I didn't take near that much. So every month I would just put a stockpile back, and then they switched me to the oxys, and I was doing the same thing for a while. So I had a big stockpile, and then I let my ass get hooked. I had to work, so I had to. The only way I could work was to take these fucking pain pills. So uh, it didn't take long of being on the oxys, and the doctor I had at that time, he would say, "Hey, how are these working for you?" And if I just said, "Yeah, they're okay" or whatever, he would raise the dosage. If I didn't say, "Hey, they're working great," don't change it, which I never did, but I could have probably. He would just raise it without even telling me. Like sometimes I didn't know he raised it until I went to pick him up. And I'd be like, "All right, man," and my prescription was for 3 a day, and they went from 20s to 40s to 60s. At that time, they went 20, 40, 60. Uh, or no, 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 no. It went 20, 40, 80 because it doubled every time. They didn't start adding in the 30s and the 60s until later. But anyway, he would just raise the dosage. And yeah, like I said, I had a big stockpile, and that stockpile, once I really got hooked, it didn't last very long. But yeah, what I did was I would find out where the people that I was getting them from got them from, and like I never really had any drug deals go bad, but I did run into trouble where uh, after finding out where the people I was getting them from were getting them from, I would go to them and I would just say, "Hey, I'll give you," because I would get a deal on them. I'd say, "Hey, I'll give you X amount every month for your whole prescription." And you only have to deal with me, and I will never rat you out. These other motherfuckers that are buying 5 at a time will rat you out, and I never would have ratted on them. But that was never an issue. So yeah, I had a bunch of older people, mostly older people, and I was just buying their whole prescription every month. And then so people got pissed uh, because I had it. I had everybody's. I feel bad about that now because some of them probably went to heroin because they couldn't get the pills, and I do feel bad about that. Yeah, and fentanyl's something else. I was prescribed the patches for a while, but at the time my kids were little, and like the warning labels on them fentanyl patches, like it's like two fold out road maps, and that's just the warning labels. And I was taping them down and stuff, but I was worried that one would pop off of me and kid get a hold of it, or like come off of me at night and it'll land on the old lady that has no tolerance. And that scared the shit out of me, so I didn't stay on the patches for too long. But yeah, I used to get Dilaudid. Once in a while, we call them stop signs. I don't remember what milligram they were now, but we called them stop signs because that was the shape. See, that's the thing, man. Old people, like, they don't even look at old people. They just give them, you know what I mean? And that's where most of the shit's coming from. People on fixed incomes that are just doing it. They're not really drug dealers. I mean, by definition, they are, but they're just doing it to live. But all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all keeping me company, and I really was in a pretty dark, horrible mood earlier. I've been dark the last few days, which is why I've not been answering text messages or fucking DMs because I had the notifications off. And somehow y'all kept me sober for a night, but I won't hold that against you. They cut heroin with nitols. Huh. 12 years old. Damn. If I found, I mean, my kids are adults now, and I would still do the same thing. But like, if I found out somebody was selling drugs to my 12-year-old, yeah, let's just say that a life sentence doesn't really mean a whole hell of a lot to me anymore. Okay, Mandingo, we're gonna hold you to that. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Oh, my. All right, y'all. I appreciate you. Somehow my chats, no matter what we're talking about, always wind up talking about drugs or boobies. I prefer boobies. I'd give up drugs for a nice set of boobies. All right, y'all. Thank you. Peace out. Stay naked.